Hey, Bran.
What's up?
What do cows do on a Friday night?
I don't know.
They go to the movies.
Nice, nice. What's up? I'm B the Installer. This is my lovely wife, Jen, of course, with the jokes here. And we have the 77-inch Sony A80K here. Big, nice OLED TV that we're gonna replace a smaller 65-inch TV in the bedroom. So we'll unbox this quickly, show you the features of the TV, get it up on the wall and show you the difference in size from 77 to 65. And then we'll show you the content that we typically do. See how good this TV is. Is it better than last year's and all that?
Let's do it. Let's get into this.
All right. Jen, do you want to pop this open?
Let's do it.
All right.
There you go.
Why don't you open the top up? Yeah.
Oh.
It's got good protection on top there.
Yeah, I got some extra protection here.
Jen doing all the heavy lifting.
That's right. Okay, looks like we have some of our feet here. Now, Brandon, you said we wanted to upgrade our size in the bedroom. Why do we want to do that? That's a pretty big TV up there already.
Well, we have a lot of big TVs, so yes, anyone should be happy with the 65-inch in the bedroom, but since we're used to having big TVs like that 98-inch right there, it just seems like at 15 feet away, a 77-inch would work a little better for us. Do you want to pull that out?
Got the setup guide here. Looks like you can do a wider stance or a more narrow stance with the legs, so that's good to know. And of course, the remote. What kind of remote do we have in here?
I don't know, you should look back down in there and find it. It's right there.
Yeah, I should. How about that?
I do know that this is one thing that I'm not going to love because it is not the shiny metallic glow-in-the-dark remote. So we may have to keep the A90J remote that is glow-in-the-dark. It's a little bigger though, but we'll show you the differences in the remotes and show you the one that you can purchase as an accessory online if you want, the one that comes with the A95K, the QD OLED.
Sounds good.
All right, time to take the top off. Here we go. Lift it up. Ooh, let's make sure this doesn't tip.
I got my hand on it.
I have bad memories. So if you're not familiar with my channel or you've maybe watched a couple videos, last year we had this similar TV. It was the A80J, and I did this by myself and took it off like that, and the TV fell straight on its face. Luckily, nothing was damaged, but these aren't very like bottom heavy because they don't have big stands like some TVs do. So be careful when you open it up. This is, you know, a little bit better here, but the 65-inch last year just fell right as I took the top off, so be careful. Pull these out too. Got some good support all around the TV.
What are we gonna do for?
I don't know, what did it say? It basically, I think you just slide them in, like you lift it up and put the feet in. These are nice. It's pretty premium. Definitely not gonna tip the TV over with these on there. I say they're premium feet, but they really are. Like you get some of the LG TVs and they're a little piece of plastic. This is all metal, it's very strong, and they just slide right in the TV. So as we take off the plastic on one side, you can just push the foot right up in there and you go to the other side and then you're done. Take this side up first. You wanna pull that out, the styrofoam. There you go.
Oh, one's in.
All right.
There we go.
That is pretty straightforward.
The nice thing about this is we can just pick it right up off this and put it right on the floor.
Let's do it.
Nice. I like it.
All right, yeah, you didn't tip. I'm happy about it.
We didn't even have to lay it down on a blanket or anything.
Okay, so we have the feet on the TV. It's good to go. We're gonna stand it up on our stand just so we can get a look at it, see how it compares and contrasts from last year's models. But then we're gonna wait to turn it on until it's up in the bedroom, show you all the content up there. So why don't we move the stand around here? Sound good?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, you ready to lift it up?
Yep, let's do it.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Cool.
Let's take this plastic off. Should we go up and over, down and around? I got that, you take the plastic off.
Gotta pull it around the feet.
Look at how seamless and professional we are. What do you think? Looks pretty good?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, but there's no plastic.
Yeah, I guess we have a couple pieces there. Normally there's like plastic. Sometimes there's like a piece of cardboard on Sony TVs. So I'm not sure, you know, they had the bracing a little differently, but the screen wasn't very protected. So just be careful when you're transporting the TV. But yeah, why don't you take off what plastic you can, Jen, the little labels.
There we go.
Little QR code.
Yeah, a little QR code. There we go, got that. That's it.
All right.
I'm left feeling like I want more.
Yeah, wait till we get in the bedroom. Yeah, all right, so now the TV does look pretty cool. I like how thin they are. They keep getting thinner and thinner for OLED TVs, but let's take a look at the back of the TV and see how that looks. All right, so on the back here, we have the Visa pattern there. It looks like a 300 by 300 millimeter pattern, which is great because that matches up with the Sony that we have upstairs. Now the TV might have to go higher or lower based on the size of it, but at least it'll work with the mount we have, which is probably crucial for a lot of people that are changing from one TV to another. And then on the right, we have a couple of USB ports. You have the optical output if you still have one of the older soundbars or speaker systems. Then you have the S-Center speaker in, which is important because we actually have the Sony A7000 soundbar. And so it can use the TV as a center channel, and we do that with the A90J. And so it'll be nice to connect the A7000 to this TV because it also acts as a center channel in addition to the soundbar. So if you have Sony and Sony, that's one of the reasons why it's nice to stay with these Sony OLEDs that have great sound. And then below that, you have two HDMI 2.0 that can get Dolby Vision and everything you need video-wise. And then we have two HDMI 2.1 ports so you can game, your next-gen gaming consoles or PC, 4K at 120 hertz, all the gaming features. 3 is the eARC though, so you can connect your soundbar and speaker system to that. And then lastly, the number 4, you can put your next-gen gaming console into there. Then we have a landline, you can connect your internet to it, and then a couple of different little inputs. And then you have your tuner cable hookup at the bottom, of course. And that's pretty much it. So now we need to take the TV upstairs and replace the 65-inch and see how much bigger it is. And then we'll show you the remote, show you some different content on it and see how it looks. Okay, so Jen bailed. She's leaving all the heavy lifting to us guys here. So Eric's gonna help me lift it up the stairs and Jen's just gonna manage us doing this. So you wanna move this?
Let's do it.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's actually not too heavy. It's all right. It's a little big, so you gotta be careful walking around corners with it. I'll go up first since I have the experience.
All right.
Okay. Not quite as heavy as a couch. Good work, good work. All right. Okay, so we're up here. We got the 65-inch A90J. There's the A7000 soundbar and all the stuff we have there. And here's the 77-inch A80K, which we're gonna put up there. So I basically just need to take that TV down and put the brackets on this TV. And the good thing about Sony to Sony is that this distance here is about the same. So when I show you this, the bracket's gonna fit in a similar space and the size will go up and away. So I should be able to keep the bottom at the same point, which looks good in here, and show you the difference in scale this way. So let's go ahead and swap the two TVs out and then we'll see how it looks. Go in here, get this safety screw out. All right, let's move the TV. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, let me get the power cord. All right, why don't you just walk around and then just set it right here. So because I want this bracket to be in the same place on the new TV and then have the larger size expand up and out, we basically need to make sure that the distance is the same from this point that hooks onto the bracket to the bottom. So it's pretty easy. All you really do is just measure that distance. It's around 13 inches and then match it up on the new TV if you can. If that distance is a bigger number, then the TV will go lower. If it's a smaller number, then the TV will be higher at the bottom. So let me take these screws out real quick. So the new TV comes with these little like implants or whatever, they're spacers. They go in here because it's a little deeper and the screws are set, deeper on the TV. So we have to push those in and rotate them in, and then on top of that, we'll use the regular screws and we'll be good. It's kind of weird how you have to put these in. Like you have to use a pretty large flathead screwdriver to get these to twist in like this. Otherwise, you can just use longer screws and not put these in, but I mean, these are, given to you for a reason, and that creates a nice flat surface to put the mount on. So we'll use it. So we'll put that in there. Okay, as you can see, we have it lined up. We're 13 inches, hooks at the same spot. So now the bottom of this TV will be at the exact spot as the bottom of the other TV. And I've made a lot of videos like this. So if you need installation help, I have a lot of videos, check them out. But now we're ready to hang the TV up. There we go. Woo! Close call on the feet. That's a big TV. You want to pull the feet off?
Sure. Just fits out.
I need to put that safety pin back in. Safety first, then teamwork. Okay. All right, the 77-inch A80K is up behind me. Let's grab the remote and turn it on. Okay, so here's the new Sony Remote. Now this one is not backlit. It is black, but it's smaller, and I like it because it just doesn't have the number buttons anymore, which I felt were a little bit irrelevant on TVs these days. It does have your basic important buttons like the input, your settings button in the top right. Then you have your up, down, left, right, and the center enter button with a back, and then home on the right. And then you have your volume up and down, channel up and down, and some of the apps at the bottom that you're probably likely going to use. So nice compact remote. I do like it. I just wish that all of them were backlit, since it just makes it so much nicer. Again, you can buy it online if you want to get the backlit one if you're in a bedroom like this. But let's go ahead and turn the power on this TV. But first, I'd like to thank ShipStation for sponsoring this video. With the holiday season approaching, it's important for businesses to be able to deliver products to online shoppers around the world. That's where ShipStation comes in. ShipStation directly integrates with every shopping cart and storefront, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and more, making it easy to manage all of your shipping needs from one simple dashboard. This will save you time and money with consolidated order management and automated shipping updates for your customers. This is something that I would have loved to have when I was shipping TV mounts one by one, which was such a tedious process that took far too much of our time on a daily basis. If you have ever created 50 or 100 individual shipping labels in a single day, there's no doubt you would sign up for ShipStation and never look back. Plus, you can easily compare carriers, rates, and delivery times and get the same discounts as Fortune 500 companies, even if you just send a few orders a day. So maximize your sales with minimal effort and make ship happen using ShipStation. Just go to shipstation.com/installer today and sign up for a 60-day free trial. Start today to make sure you're set up before the biggest shipping season of the year. That's 2 whole months free by going to shipstation.com/installer today. All right, so we finally have it fired up. I made a couple adjustments, turned it into the cinema mode, increased the peak luminance, turned off the ambient light just to make sure that it was good to go. And I also kind of messed with the motion settings to get that where I like as well. So good to go. And I wanted to show you the operating system. This is the Google TV OS. It's the second year they've had this versus the Android TV. I kind of like it better than the Android TV because it's able to give you kind of a collective bit of information of all the different apps that you might use. So it knows that I have YouTube TV. It's already got me signed in, so it throws up here some of the things that I might watch. It has all the different apps below here that you might need. You can download more, and then again here, continue watching programs that I was watching, and then you kind of go down and get some popular movies, some advertisement type stuff, and there's a lot of content you can use. Go across the different apps here, so it'll recommend Disney Plus movies, and then it does have a nice ambient screen. So when you're just chilling or you've been idle for a certain amount of time, these different pictures will come up and you can rotate through them. A pretty good collection of art. You can remove the time if you want or leave it up. With this being an OLED, probably recommend just removing the time and use your watch so you don't get any possible burn-in on the screen. And obviously one of the things I wanted to highlight in this video is the size difference between the 65 and the 77. So here you can see the 77 gives you a lot more screen size than the 65 does here. And while you may not need a 77-inch TV in your bedroom, it's just a huge difference over the 65-inch. And I'm a big fan of it. I think it's perfect for this room, being that we're 15 feet away from the screen. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm pretty happy with that. But let's get into some content and see what sports look like, some HDR movies and gaming before we wrap this video up. Okay, so we're watching some sports here, and this TV looks nice and bright. The color looks good. I'm not noticing any drop off with the brightness or color to the A90J and the 65 inch. It looks very similar, very sufficient for me. As I'm watching this football that's moving around pretty quickly and is upscaled from lower resolution, I did notice that while it still is pretty good in upscaling, it doesn't look quite as sharp as the A90J. I'm not sure if that's because it's a larger screen and I'm closer and it's upscaling to a bigger screen, so therefore I'm seeing those inconsistencies, or if it's just that this processor and the TV in general isn't quite as good as the Master Series OLED of last year. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. This is YouTube TV. It is very low resolution. It is very low bandwidth. And so typically it doesn't look great. It does still look better than most TVs I've seen, but a true test of what this TV can do would be showing some HDR footage and seeing how bright and vibrant that picture looks. So let's do that now. So now we're watching Encanto, which offers us some really good HDR animation. You're able to see the individual pixel level control and detail and highlights in the hair of the characters and just bright, vibrant colors. And when you're watching HDR on an OLED TV like this, it's just amazing. I really think that this TV is very comparable to the A90J with regards to brightness. I think it measures a little lower, but it's just the fact that this screen is so big. If you compare it back to that 65 inch, this 77 inch is just enormous, and so therefore it just widens out the viewing angle and makes it look brighter even if it isn't. And speaking of brightness, the A80J last year is supposed to be a little bit brighter, and maybe it's a little bit better than this A80K. I'm kind of a fan of just buying the more recent TV if they're very similar, just because you hope that there's improvement in the technology and firmware updates and whatnot. But if you can get a better price on that A80J, then I do recommend to just go ahead and do that, because that TV was awesome. This A80K and 77 inch does have that more matte-like reflectivity. I don't really think it's a big deal. It wasn't a big deal last year. I think people made it a big deal because they're used to that more glossy screen that OLEDs typically have. But I honestly don't think it makes any difference. This has really good anti-reflective properties, and I think it's just something that OLED snobs will have to get used to if you want to get this TV, because I'm completely fine with it. It beats down the reflection quite nicely, and I'm totally fine with how this looks. And since we did the reflection test, we might as well do the dirty screen effect test, or the uniformity, which is going to help determine if the screen is going to look clear and bright and even when you might pan left or right, or if you're playing a video game and you're moving left or right. You don't want to see what looks like dirt on your screen. And OLEDs are typically better than LCD-based TVs, and the new QD OLEDs are even better than some of these traditional LG display OLEDs. But this TV looks pretty good. Doesn't seem to have too much uniformity issues. We did notice, if you're really picky, you can see a little bit of darker area on the bottom left and might be a little bit of a vertical line toward the right 1/3. But really, we had to sit here and stare at the monitor and stare at the TV to look at this. I know when some of us reviewers get these TVs, we're really making sure that there isn't any uniformity issues, especially if we're keeping them in our bedroom, and you might notice that often. But honestly, this is acceptable to me. I'm completely fine with it. After some usage and the automatic pixel shifting that the TV does itself, I think it would be just fine. You wouldn't even notice this stuff. So that just leaves us with gaming and some buying advice. All right, well, playing some Call of Duty, this looks incredible. It's not that hard to say that gaming looks great on an OLED TV. I mean, it's really remarkable. You have individual pixel level control of everything in darker scenes and brighter scenes. For me, it seems no matter what kind of games you're playing, it just looks awesome on OLED TVs. So this Sony A80K is no different. It does have 4K at 120, so if you have a next-gen gaming console, you're playing fast-paced games like Call of Duty, you can keep up with the competition. You're not gonna be worried about input lag with an OLED, and you have basically instantaneous response. I mean, it doesn't make me any better at this game, but it's still good to have the best advantage when you're gaming. And again, the big thing for me is just the size difference here. It's easier to see things on the screen, and I think the quality is very similar, if not the same. This TV does have working VRR, so even the Sony OLEDs that didn't have all the gaming features before are catching up, and I'm definitely happy with the 77 inch, and I think gaming on this is a lot easier than the 65 inch at the distance that we sit. So I'm stoked about this TV. Okay, so I'm pretty impressed with this TV, I must say. It is technically the best Sony OLED that you can get in this size in 2022. I don't notice any brightness difference when I'm watching it in this bedroom from the 65-inch A90J of last year. I'm sure it's slightly dimmer, but the size difference is what makes it for me. It's 12 inches larger. It looks really good in the space on the wall. I think it fills the room better. I think it pairs with the A7000 soundbar better with regards to size. The only downside that I've found so far is that this specific TV TV doesn't work with the S center in for some reason. It has a bit of a hiss to it, whereas my TV from last year and all the other Sonys I've had so far this year have not had that. So I think it's a defect in this TV and I'm gonna get it checked out. But besides that, it looks amazing. Beautiful OLED TV. I highly recommend it. And it's actually the same price as my A90J 65-inch that I bought a year ago. That TV now is $2,500 and this 77-inch OLED is $26.99. And I just think if you're looking at getting a 65 or a 77, if you can fit the 77 in your room and it looks good, I would highly recommend getting the A80K. And if you can get the A80J, if people think that was even better from a year ago and that this A80K is a downgrade because it doesn't get quite as bright or whatever, then go ahead and get the A80J. I'm just saying it's still a fantastic OLED TV. I prefer it over my 65-inch A90J, basically because it's bigger, but still retains that pixel level control that just looks amazing, especially at night. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like the 77-inch A80K? Do you have another TV in mind? Let me know in the comments, ask away any questions.
And make sure to check out my website, betheinstaller.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter, which is how most people get informed of the new videos, as well as where I have TV deals and giveaways, and where I'll soon be uploading my masterclass videos to learn how to install TVs and start your own installation business. And make sure to smash the like button on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and set the notification bell to all so you get notified when I upload a new video, and I'll see you on the next one.